Jai Hind everyone, this is Manisha Rai, an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In today's session, I will discuss about software development models. Before starting our main topic, that is software development models, I would like to give some brief introduction about the software models and why we use that. As we all of know, whenever we have to build a software or develop a software, so as per our requirement and as per our budget and time, we choose some model, or we can say that we choose a particular appropriate model which will be suitable to develop that software. For example, just to develop a basic ERP software, we cannot use a agile or SDLC models. If we will use that, so definitely it will increase our cost. And in a other aspect, if we want to develop a major quality software, so for that we have to choose a spiral or agile model. So as in a short, I would like to say that as per our requirement, in a list of development models, we have to pick a particular models which will be suitable for our development phase. So with that basic introduction, now I would like to start my main topic, and one by one I will discuss each and every models related to software development phase. So first of all, I would like to start with the waterfall model. Waterfall model is the basic or classical model related to the software development phase. In the starting era of software development, most of the organizations or developer use waterfall model to build and develop their software. But nowadays, waterfall model is less used as compared to others models. Waterfall model is a classical model. It will develop the software one by wave, or we can say that it is developed software in the part of phases. First of all, it will collect requirement related to the software and also study feasibility study of that software, that it is capable to build or not. After feasibility and requirement in waterfall model, we will next move toward the designing phase. After designing phase, we will move toward the coding and unit testing phase, and after coding and unit testing phase in waterfall model, we will move towards the integration and system testing phase. And in the last step of the waterfall model is maintenance. So as we can see that here, waterfall model is goes step by step. So this is the basic approach or strategy of waterfall model related to software development. But with that, waterfall model also has some pros and cons. So first of all, we will discuss about the advantages of waterfall model. So the basic advantages of waterfall model is that waterfall model is capable to build a short budget software. It means if we have to build a software where we have a limitation related to the cost and time, so we can choose classical waterfall model. But with that, it also has some disadvantages, as here we can see that if any person face any difficulties related to the coding and testing phase, so in a waterfall model, we do not have an option to roll back to reach towards design phase. If we want to any correction, so we have to start from the first phase, that is feasibility study. So this is the main disadvantages of the waterfall model. Here we do not have an option to roll back towards the previous step. So with that, I would like to give some application related to the waterfall model. As here we can see that requirements here are well documented, clear and fixed. It means in a waterfall model, Once the requirements are fixed, and if we will reach towards the designing phase, so after that we do not have an option to roll back to reach toward requirement phase. Here product definition is stable, it cannot be dynamic, and it means as per the requirement we cannot change our product definition. So this is the basic information related to the waterfall model, and earlier I already provide the basic or brief introduction about the advantages and disadvantages of waterfall model. After that, the second model related to the software development phase is iterative waterfall model. We can say that iterative waterfall model is the enhancement of classical waterfall model. So as here with the help of diagram we will try to understand that just like the classical waterfall model, in an iterative waterfall model we also have the same steps, like start with the requirement, feasibility, requirement, design, coding, unit testing, integration, system testing, and maintenance. But here we have an advantages as compared to classical waterfall model. If a developer team face any kind of difficulties at any phase, so in classical waterfall model, as I earlier said, we do not have an option to reverse back to reach toward last phase. But in an iterative waterfall model, we get an option to reach towards the last phase, and as per the requirement, here we can rectify or improve in our designing phase, and then again we can come towards the coding and unit testing phase. So this is the main advantage or enhancement of the iterative waterfall model, that here we have an option to reach towards the last phase to fulfill our dynamic requirement. After iterative waterfall model is next step is the prototype model. What is prototype model? As the name is already described here, prototype means a dummy model or a kind of a sample model. For example, if a client or customer is not clear idea about their project or what kind of software they require, it means rapidly or dynamically they change their requirement. So in that case, development team or the particular development organization do not get an idea that what actually customer or client wants. So in that kind of scenario, what we can do, here we have an option to develop a prototype or a dummy model, or before developing a actual models, we can represent that or we can showcase that prototype in front of our customer. If they approve that particular model, so we can lead towards the designing phase, and if they suggest some kind of improvement or rectification, so as per their requirements we rectify that changes in our prototype, and after getting a final approval from customer side, we will reach towards the designing phase. As here we can see through the help of diagram, in prototype model, first of all we start with the feasibility study and requirement gathering or requirement analysis. After collecting requirement analysis from our client, first of all development team build a quick design, and with that quick design they build a prototype, or we can say that a dummy kind of a model. After that they showcase that prototype in front of their customer for the evaluation purpose. If customer approve that prototype, then they will lead towards the designing phase, or if customer suggest some kind of improvement or rectification in that particular prototype, so development team change their design or requirement collection as per the suggestion of client, and again they will build a quick design prototype and so showcase that prototype in front of their client. After getting a final approval from the client, we will move towards the designing phase, then coding, testing and maintenance. So here we can say that prototype model is also include a iterative waterfall model in itself. With that, they have some additional feature to provide a dummy kind of model or prototype to the customer. So this is the basic introduction of the prototype model. So what is the basic advantages of the prototype model? The basic advantages of the prototype model is that according to the change environment or according to the change need of customer, here we can rectify of our model. Also, it is provide a complete satisfaction to the customer or client that their software is built as per their choice or as per their need. And apart from that, it has some disadvantages also, like in a prototype model, before starting our actual development, we have built a one prototype. So definitely it will increase the cost and time related to the software development phase. So this is the basic disadvantages of the prototype model. After prototype model, we will discuss about the RAD model, or in a short form we also call it the RAD model. What is the full form of that model? The full form of this particular model is the rapid application development. As the name suggests, rapid means here time is the main constant or main feature. For example, if any client or customer want to build their software in a short phase of a time, so or here organization or development team choose a rapid application development model to build their software. For example, if they provide a time limitation of 3 months or 6 months, or within that particular time they want that their software has to be a build. So for building that kind of software where we have a constraint related to the time, development team can choose rapid application development model. As we can see that here we have an option of collection of requirement gathering. After that, we divide our requirements in a different segments or different modules, and for that particular kind of a modules we have allocated different development team. For example, if a project has a 4 modules, so in a rapid application development, just to build a software in a very quick time, we divide our software development phase in a 4 different team. Team number 1 has a responsibility to build module 1. Team number 2 assign a responsibility to build module 2, and so on. And in a final phase, we will integrate all that modules, analyze the module, analyze the design, code and test, and final we will try to check if any kind of bugs or any kind of problem occur in that particular software. So we will rectify as per the requirement. And in a final phase, after integrated all that modules, we will perform testing phase here, and after getting a successful confirmation from the client, we will hand over that particular project to them. So if I will talk about the advantages of the rapid application development model, so the main advantages of the rapid application development model is the here we can build and develop the software in a very quick or short time period. And what is the main drawback of the rapid application software? Here we need a very high skilled developer to build a software, because we have divided our software or project in a base of different modules. So definitely we need a very high skilled person who will be capable to understand the need of that particular modules, or in a very short time they will be capable to code that module in an actual scenario. So this is the basic drawback of related to the rapid application development model. After rapid application development model, our next model is the V model. What is the full form of the V model? Full form of the V model is the verification and validation model. As we already know, SDLC phase is divided into several steps. Start with the feasibility study, then we will move toward the requirement analysis, after then design, after then coding, then testing, and then maintenance. So the testing phases come after coding phase in most of the development models. But V model provide an extra feature, like in others model, if we will find any kind of software bug, software error, or software failure scenario, so here we will only capable to find out that kind of error in a testing phase. But in a V model, we will perform testing phase from the starting, just like we can see that in a particular diagram. V model is start with the requirement analysis. After requirement analysis, first of all, we will present that requirements in front of our customer or client, and if they approve that particular requirement analysis document or requirement analysis phase, that it is accurate related to their requirement, so here we will perform verification of that particular requirement analysis. After that, we will move towards the designing phase and showcase that particular system designing phase to our customer, and after getting approval from that side, we will design architecture of that particular system. Then we will move towards the module designing, and after that we will move towards the coding phase. So in a first segment of V model, we perform verification approach. It means in each and every step, we will verify all the details from the side of developer and also from the side of customer, that it is accurate related to the criteria and not. After coding of each and every module, we will perform unit testing. After unit testing, we will integrate all that module. So here we have to perform integration testing. After integration testing, we have to perform system testing, and after system testing, the last step is acceptance testing. So in the second phase of V model, what we do, here we have to perform validation. It means from the side of customer and from the side of development team, we have to validate that our build software or build project is accurate or not. So as we can see that in V model, testing phases follow at each and every step. It means from the initial phase, we start performing verification that all the phases that we are making, it is accurate or not, and in a last, we validate that whatever we had developed, it is correct or not. So testing is the main feature or main component of related to the V model. After V model, the next and one of the most important model related to the software development is spiral model. Spiral model provide the basic functionality of the risk analysis. As here we can see that spiral model is divided into 4 different segments. In a first segment, what we will do, first of all, we will identify our object, that whatever the order we are collecting or taking from the client or the customer, it is capable to build or not. After object identification, then we will move towards the progress phase. Here we will analyze our risk management, or also we have an option to build a prototype. After building a prototype and getting a approval from the client, we build a design, then we have to move towards the code phase, then integration, test, implementation and release the software. So as we can see that spiral model is divided into the 4 different segments. In the first segment, we identify our object. In this second segment, we have to calculate the risk related to the object, and also we build a prototype related to that particular project. What is the meaning of risk management? Risk management, it means if our project is get failed, or if we will not be able to deliver or complete our project within a provided time. So what kind of risk we have to face, we have also calculate here. And after analyzing our risk, we have built a one prototype in a second phase. In a third phase, we have complete all phases or scenario related to the software development model, that is the design, code, testing and implementation and release of that particular software. And in the fourth phase, if software need any kind of maintenance or rectification or adaptation in future as per the requirement of the project, so here we have planned for the next phase or next version of the software. So this is the basic architecture diagram of the spiral model. In a spiral model, the main component or main feature is risk analysis. In each and every phase, we have to calculate risk related to the software development. After software development spiral model, the next model related to the software development phase is evolutionary model. In an evolutionary model, what we do? First of all, in an evolutionary model, what we do? First of all, we will build our software, or we can see that first of all, we have to collect a requirement related to the software. After that, we specify the basic component of that particular software and release an initial version of that software. Then as per the specification, we develop that particular software, or here we can see that we have released an intermediate version of that particular software, and then we validate and verify that software from the side of client and also from the side of development team, and release a final version of that software. So in a short form, we can say that in an evolutionary model, we release our software in the form of version or in the form of phases. This is the basic feature component of the evolutionary model. After evolutionary model, its next phase is our iterative model. In an iterative model, we perform some increment as per the requirement of the software, or we can say that here we also release our software in the form of the versions. So this is the basic diagram or basic architecture or knowledge about the iterative enhancement model. And the last and one of the most latest model related to the software development phase is agile model. What is agile model? Nowadays, most of the companies use agile model for the development of software. Agile model provides us the one of the most basic feature related to the customer feedback or real-time feedback. In agile models, first of all, we analyze requirement, then design document and also prototype. Then after that, we release our project in form of chunks or iteration and showcase that iteration and demo in front of a real customer or real client and collect their feedback. And on the basis of their feedback, we have to rectify or rebuild our software. So agile model provides us the specification to release our software in the form of chunks or in a form of the iterations. In an agile model, as compared to the other previous model, documentation phase is less as compared to others model. So we can say that in agile model we have a advantages to release our software in a form of iteration, and again we have an advantages to rebuild or update our software. So this is the basic component of the or basic feature advantages of the agile model. So with that, I would like to conclude my topic. I hope you get some basic information related to the software development models, and thank you so much for giving your valuable time. Have a good day. Thank you so much.